With thanks to my Patreons, Carol Smaczynski, Foulmouth, and Uncle Chop Chop. Thank you for supporting the channel. Get your name here for the price of a cup of coffee. Welcome back to Hacking a Katana episode 3. Today we are hacking the Fender Aerodyne Jazz Bass, otherwise known as the fingerprint magnet to its owners. Now in the past I have done a review of this bass. There will be a link to that if you want to see it in the description. A very quick summary. I think it's a beautiful bass. I love the way it looks, the way it feels and the way it plays. It's magical. However, it's this that is the problem. It's far too quiet and has no character. Many of you have suggested getting new pickups. I will get round to that one day, but not today. Today we're using a Katana to hack it and see if we can add some character and make it sound a little bit louder. Let's head into the Tone Studio. Now, comparing this bass with my Lakeland 4401, I don't have any set signal path or effects pedals that are attributed to this bass. I kind of use what I feel is right in the moment and what I'm playing and having fun with that. That's a good thing because I now have free range to use whatever I want on the Tone Studio. However, that now gives me free range to use whatever I want without any constraint. I think it's important to set a goal for this video, and I feel like my gut says let's choose the modern setting and try and get a modern sound out of this. As this is a Fender jazz bass of sorts, I use it as such, and I use it to play The Killers, Guns N' Roses, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rage Against the Machine, things like that with a jazz pickup, essentially. Now, with the Lakeland in the last episode, we went down the vintage route. I don't think that will work on this bass. I feel like this bass will work well with the modern sound. Like I said in the last video, the modern sound is very similar to your Gallien Kruegers, your Heart Keys, your solid state stuff. I feel like that will work a lot more for this bass for what I'm trying to achieve. We're going to stick with modern, so let's carry on with modern. I want that clarity, full range, and thump. I don't really need it to be warm. So we'll go with that and see how we fare. In the interest of time, I won't be explaining what all of the options in a Katana are. I've already covered this in episode 2. There will be a link in the description if you'd like to see that. Let's crack on. For the chain, I'm just going to choose chain 2. This is most similar to how I already play. I have my drive first, and then the effects pedals at the end of the chain, essentially. I don't feel like I need the effects pedal before a drive, so we're going to keep it FX2. So we're going to keep it chain 2, like the last one. I want to tackle the EQ first. I think that's important because the basic clean sound just doesn't sound right to my liking. What we have at the moment is all three pickups 100%, volume 100%, neck pickup 100%, and the bridge pickup. The gain is at 50%, that's over here. Like I said, the bass is far too quiet, so I'll leave it at like 2/3, and the volume, this volume knob kind of corresponds to the output on my computer. Let's play the shape. It's boomy on the bottom end, and I don't like that. It's distorting, and I definitely don't like that. I'm not sure. I don't like any of them particularly. I'll keep it like that. So let's head to the EQ. I'll spare you the details. I will do this and let you know. Now, the problem with the treble, I don't know if this is coming out on the recording. I'm getting a lot of interference, probably from the pickups. Not sure. It sounds terrible. It's still distorting a little bit, and I'm not... It's just overloading, so I've taken off the pad. I'm turning down the gain. I think my problem here is I don't like the neck pickup. It's way too boomy. Like I said in my review, that it's just too boomy. I can roll it off on the bass. I might take off a little bit. I'm taking off like 25%. That sounds a little bit more jazz-like. I like that. I just find these P-bass frequencies are really annoying. It's okay. We can do better, so we will carry on. I've just spent the best part of 15 minutes messing with the output level, the EQ and everything, and I think it's satisfactory, and generally it's okay. I kind of find it Honestly, it reminds me of the cheap Yamaha basses that had those horrible rosewood necks. Yeah, that brings me back. Anyway, let's continue. I'm going to jump onto compressors now. You've seen me go through compressors. I still don't think the limiters are viable. I just don't think they work. So I'm going to skip it. I'm going straight to compressor. You've seen me go through these compressors. I'm not going to do it again. I'm just going to go through one or two that I enjoy, and I'll see you in a minute. As usual, I'm kind of mirroring the settings my current compressor has. The sustain is at midday. The attack is pretty quick. I want it to work instantly. I don't really play with the tone. There's no need, and the level can be compensated if I need it to. I don't really want to touch the volume again because it's such a pain in the arse. So we'll see how we go. For once, the default setting's actually pretty good. I'm not looking to boost the high end, so I don't like the Hiband. Again, I'm liking the orange. Orange is coming through pretty good. Let's try fat. Digging the fat. Fat's good. Interesting. It sounds really good for finger play. Let's try mild. I just feel like there's no uniformity across this thing. Okay, that was the last one. I think I'll go with the orange. I'm going to stick with orange. You'll see me messing around with the EQ this whole video because I just don't like this P-bass frequency. It's really annoying. Do you know what? I should have just got a jazz. This P-bass frequency is just pissing me off. Here's where we're at. I've chosen the orange. I like the orange. I'm still getting a bit of humming. I don't know if that's picked up on the output. I'm getting humming. It might be in the room from the pickups. I didn't like any of the compressors on this bass. I felt like they're all sucking out the top end and the mids, which shouldn't happen. They should be making sure that the signal is uniform and equal and compressed. It's not. The only downside with this compressor is there's a bit of noise coming from the pickups. I don't think that's good. Okay, there is noise being picked up through the pickups, and there's some feedback going on in the pickups. I guess that's where the noise suppressor comes into play. Fixed? Kind of. We'll live with it. It's not a big deal, really, but it's just not. Again, it's just this dissatisfaction with this bass and this sound. Sounds very boomy. Still, even though it's compressed, and now I'll try on the top strings. Okay, drive. You might see me fiddling around with this EQ because I'm picking and choosing things that don't sound right without being EQ'd. Ignore that if it keeps moving. Drive. I'm not sure if I want one. If I do, I want it very, very faint. And I don't mean like we did with the Lakeland. So let's try natural. And let's see how we go. Drive. That sounds awful. It just sounds digital. Gonna try the Governor DS. Like I said, Tim Comerford uses this pedal. I wonder how it holds up on a jazz bass. Of sorts. Noisy. stupidly noisy. Really not a nice musical sound. Not impressed. Let's try just a very basic bass DI, maybe. Why is it so noisy? It's so annoying. Doesn't work. Let's just try booster. There's a tiny bit of drive on there that I quite like. You can hear it getting squashed now. I kind of like this booster. It's supposed to be a clean boost, but I think it works quite well. Same with the compressor. The compressor feels like it's sucking the tone. So I'll turn the compressor down a little bit. I don't know if that's a placebo, but it actually sounds much better. Okay, I will go with that. Great. The blend I'm going to leave as is. The blend is working pretty well with a bias towards the clean sound. If I wanted to turn up the drive, which I can do here, you can see the drive moving there, that will work. And it does overdrive. I like that. It's clean. It's quite a clean distortion, which I like. I'm getting this Blink-182 vibe. Cool, I like it. Okay, on to effects. I'm trying to get away from what I did with the Lakeland. That seems a bit contemporary and normal. For this one, I do a lot of experimentation, not like I'm Pink Floyd, but just playing and trying to make different sounds. I mentioned earlier, I like to use this bass on a lot of Red Hot Chili Pepper songs because it fulfills that jazz bass need. With that baggage comes with the slapping and envelope filters and that kind of style that Flea likes to play. So I am a fan of envelope filters. I've never really been a big user of them. I do have a lot of fun with them though. Same with disco. I like disco music and funk music. There's a time and a place for envelope filters, so I'd like to use it now. Let's do that. The best example of Flea using an envelope filter is Psycho Sexy, and it sounds like this. Moving on to effects 2, I've decided to use heavy octave. I did mention in the last video I'd like an octave pedal, and suffice to say, this one is actually quite good. The tracking seems polyphonic compared to a single note. It's cool. I kind of like it in conjunction with the T.Wah, the Touch-Wah. We'll put that back on. And that's it really. I think it's best to see how it sounds in a mix and follow up afterwards. Right, that was a lot of fun. I kind of went on my own jam session, and we'll have to again cut that down to size. The thing about this bass and my choice of the envelope filter and the octave pedal, I run them as obnoxiously as possible. I want them to be heard. I want them to be loud and in the mix. For me, it's a tool to be as creative as possible and not be held down by traditional musical structures. That's more of a solo thing. It's just something I do on my own, especially with this bass. As I mentioned, it's nice and easy to hold and to play. I don't know why, it's just the comfort of this bass. It's easy to play and make sonic landscapes, thereby playing with envelope filters or octaves. You can really get into a groove of free-flowing abstract musical landscapes. Some people like to play with delay pedals and reverbs and loops, and this is kind of my version of that, if that makes sense, without sounding too hippy-dippy and pretentious. I don't mean to be, it's a way of play. It's play, isn't it? Let's take one more look at the Tone Studio. If I was going to make a permanent rig of this sort of setup, I'm not happy with the EQ, but I wasn't happy with the Lakeland EQ either. That needs more features. A high pass filter, low pass filter, parametrics, more customization. Not happy with that. I thought the THRASH was okay. If I was running an envelope filter permanently in my rig, I would seriously have to do an A/B test and compare it to the Source Audio Spectrum Intelligent Filter. I feel like this pedal has everything you'd ever want on an envelope filter. The Katana is okay. It's just a very basic envelope filter. But this has everything and everything you would ever want. So I need to test that to make sure I'd be happy with the settings. Effects 2 is the heavy octave. Again, really impressed with this. Compared to the Boss OC3 pedal, this tracks wonderfully on the low end. Really cool, and I'm definitely going to use that in more profiles. I was talking about creating audio landscapes and that kind of thing. I would like more pedals, delay, reverbs, phasers, flanges, more stuff, more loops, these kind of things. Originally, I thought I was limited to these 2 slots. But I think I alluded to in my previous videos, you could actually stack them here. You can stack 3 effects on 1 button. So if you click that button or press it on the amplifier, you can slide through 3 different pedals. So technically, you have 6 pedals stacked on 2 buttons. If you have the foot switch, I'm sure you can get to it quicker, or you can just tap it on the amplifier and just go through. It's okay. I mean, for me sitting here, this is what I'm going to do. Just press the button. It's fine. So an option's there. All in all, I'm quite happy with how it sounds now. There's always room for improvement, so I might return to it in the future. But this is sufficient for my needs at the moment, and I'll keep it that way. I'm going to write it and save it. Onto the Aerodyne. There we go. And that's it. Next time, I'll be hacking the ATK 305. If you have any questions or comments about the Katana amplifier, let me know, and I'll try to answer those in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see ya next time.